Welcome back to the news at 10. You can see my colleague there, Ibrahim Adra from Abuja. Ibrahim.
Hello, Ejoma. Now, call it the biggest political gathering in recent time, and you may not be wrong. Today in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, leaders of the All Progressive Congress, governors, federal ministers of the Southwest extraction are in a meeting in what is considered a reconciliation move by the leaders. APC leader and former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akonde, governors of Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, and Osun states, federal ministers in the Buhari cabinet, and some federal lawmakers were among those in attendance. The meeting is believed to be aimed at unifying members within the region and help foster a common front in most political decisions of interest to the Southwest.
Affecting Southwest. And we have come out with a resolution to show that in the Southwest of APC, there is unity of purpose. The leadership is one. We are all together on all issues. And we have resolved on all the issues concerning the governance of this country and what should be the role and the influence that we should exercise as a group for the interest of this country and the progress of this country. And we have reviewed all the issues. All those that will be taken to Abuja will be taken to Abuja by those concerned. We are related with our legislative arm, the National Assembly members. We are related with our leaders at the party level. And all these issues were taken exhaustively. We are related with all our governors.
And back here in the nation's capital, the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners have asked the federal government to do everything possible to protect primary and secondary school premises across the country. The group says providing security for schools will forestall a recurrence of the tragic abductions which took place in Chibok community in Borno State in 2014. The day 5 of the week-long protest march in the nation's capital, the group focused on the vulnerabilities of Nigeria's children. Our correspondent Ajuri Ngelale reports.
Since the abduction of the Chibok school girls in April 2014, school security in the country has come under scrutiny, with the Bring Back Our Girls protesters now insisting that more proactive measures must be taken nationwide.
There is an initiative called the Safe School Initiative. Unfortunately, the story that has been coming out of government on that initiative leaves much to be desired. The same issues of poor governance and corruption seems to have seeped into it.
1,004 days have passed since the abduction of over 200 girls in Chibok, Borno State, and even as most girls remained captive, the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners say that reactive security methods leave young girls everywhere vulnerable to crimes such as rape, trafficking, and enslavement.
One of the issues we raised today is the matter of the young girl, Habiba Yakubu, who is held as the wife of someone in the Katsina Emirate. There should be no reason for a girl of 14 to be married off.
While school-aged children remain under threat due to insufficient school security in Nigeria, school-aged boys are potentially exposed to kidnapping and indoctrination by insurgents who seek to replenish their diminishing reserve of members with impressionable youth.
In a viciously cyclical way, the widespread poverty becomes causative factors itself for lower human development and a trigger for conflict and insecurity of all types.
There is a devastatingly thin line between education and radicalization. Education is the foundation of human development and sustainable economic growth. Radicalization swallows the innocence of children and devastates entire communities, regions, and nations. Today's march is a reminder that in the Nigerian context, effective school security is a dividing line between the two. Ajuri Ngelale, Channels Television News.
Now, in a related development, the federal government has assured human rights activist and co-founder of the Malala Fund, Malala Yousafzai, of its commitment to securing the release of the remaining Chibok girls and others still in captivity. In the letter written on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari by the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, in response to Ms. Malala's letter, the minister says that while he cannot divulge the details of ongoing negotiations to secure the release of the girls due to sensitive nature of the negotiations, quote, rest assured, however, of the doggedness, commitment, and sincerity of Nigeria's federal government towards ensuring the safe return of the Chibok girls and indeed all others in captivity, end of quote. He added, however, that the military, the State Security Service, and other security agencies are intensifying their efforts in this regard. The Supreme Court has given the Lagos State government leave to file an appeal against the judgment of the appeal court, which released Major Hamza Al-Mustapha, the former chief security officer to the late head of state, General Sani Abacha. In a ruling delivered by the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, the Apex Court granted the request following a motion argued by the senior state counsel in the Lagos State Ministry of Justice. Justice Onogen held that the Lagos State government should file the notice of appeal within the next 30 days. Earlier, counsel to Major Al-Mustapha, Mr. Joseph Daudu, withdrew his counter affidavit, objecting to the request by the Lagos State government on the appeal matter. Now, Major Al-Mustapha was released by the court after many years of standing trial for the alleged murder of Kudirat Abiola in 1996. Let's get back to Ijoma in Lagos for more reports. Ijoma.
All right, thanks a lot, Ibrahim. Now, his administration may be faced with a number of challenges in the bid to fix Nigeria, but the president has said that corruption ranks the very worst of all the major problems. President Muhammadu Buhari said this while receiving recipients of the 2016 Nigerian National Order of Merit at the State House, Abuja. He added that the ruling All Progressives Congress had identified three major challenges facing the nation as insecurity, poor economy and corruption, insisting that corruption is the most debilitating of them all. He commended the 2016 Merit Award winners, Professor Omoumi Sadiq, for distinguishing herself in the sciences, and Professor Tanuri Ojeide in the humanities, describing their contributions as quite fundamental. Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Melinda Akinlami.
Thank you so much, Ijoma. Welcome to Business News. The first interministerial and advisory meeting of parties involved in the flotation of Nigeria's first sovereign green bonds takes place today in Abuja. The meeting, which involved the Ministries of Environment and Finance, is part of steps needed to ensure the wider consultation on the process of periodic issuance of FG green bonds. Nigeria looks to tap into the global market for green bonds, estimated at $100 billion, to shore up its development funding needs. The Nigerian Stock Exchange looks set to pursue the delayed demutualization of the bourse to a logical conclusion this year. The NSE Chief Executive, Mr. Oscar Oyema, revealed this today at a media briefing on the affairs of the stock market last year and what to expect in 2017. Our business correspondent, Tempo Ashaju, has this report.
Every year, the Nigerian Stock Exchange reviews the past year and provides projections for the incoming one. This informs the reason for this briefing led by the Chief Executive, Mr. Oscar Oyema.
The NSE All-Share Index began to retreat to negative territory as total foreign inflow dropped 45% between June and July due to, one, loss of confidence in the implementation of an announced free-floating FX regime, 2, weak corporate performance, 3, second consecutive quarter of negative economic growth.
Mr. Oyema reels out his plans for the year, focusing his outlook on the demutualization of the NSE as well as more listings.
Accordingly, a convergence of FX rates in the country and the performance of listed corporates will determine the level of market activity in the short run. In the immediate future, the NSE will focus on achieving its goal of becoming a more agile and demutualized exchange and will fast-track efforts towards developing innovative products such as exchange-traded derivatives. We will also continue our engagement efforts with the government to promote the listing of privatized state-owned enterprises.
Analysts who were also present at the session maintained a similar view with the management of the bourse.
As the economy recovers and as issuers begin to do well in their businesses, as they churn out more positive numbers in terms of their quarterly results, we see that reflecting on the performance of the market overall.
The strategic execution of the NSE plans will depend on the performance of Nigeria's macroeconomic variables. However, given the projections on the growth of the economy, investors can only anticipate that the NSE strategies and action plans materialize in their best interest. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
Most indices on the local stock market, except the banking index, ended Thursday's trading in the red, as analysts believe the negative sentiment will extend into Friday's session. For the closing numbers, here's BC Adebayo.
Hello there. Today's trading at the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended downbeat by 0.21%, in line with analyst forecast, as a result of short-term investors taking advantage of the gains recorded on Wednesday. As the bear and the bull struggle for supremacy this month, total volume at the close of transactions also came in lower at 179.43 million shares against the previous session of 2,928 deals for over 1.49 billion naira. Three financial giants, UBA, FBN Holdings, and Access, pulled the highest turnover on the activity chart. The top three price gainers from a list of 13 were Livestock Feeds, UBA, and Capital Hotel. Industrial stocks dominated the losers category, with Nascon, Forte Oil, and Fitson in the lead of 23 decliners. That ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Despite some positive economic data from Europe and the United States, global equities, especially financial stocks, ended negative today. These are the numbers. And that's business news. The rest of the news at 10 continues in a moment.
A giant stride has been recorded in Oyo State with the commissioning of the first privately owned virtual library. The learning center, located in Isain local government area of the state, was constructed by Barrister Ahmad Raji, regarded as an illustrious son. Present among the guests were the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, and the Alaafin of Oyo, Lamidi Adeyemi.
It was a roll call of eminent personalities at the inauguration and presentation of the first privately built and equipped library for public use in Isain local government area of Oyo State. From former President Olusegun Obasanjo to foremost traditional ruler, His Imperial Majesty Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, the Aseyin of Isayin, Oba Abdulganiyu Adekunle, and other monarchs in the Oke-Ogun axis of the state, to lawmakers led by Senator representing Oyo North, Senator Fatai Buhari, all were in high spirit to witness the event. The bar and the bench were also represented. For the first time in the history of this ancient town, a well-equipped library is donated by a son of the soil for educational advancement.
Knowledge has no age barrier, so as long as you can breathe, you can learn. So it's going to be open to all.
The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, underscored the importance of this project.
The greatest gift that education confers upon the recipients is the gift of character. How you determine character, modify character, and grow character. It's only by training. Training can be formal and informal.
The ultra-modern facility has the capacity to seat 100 students at once in its reading rooms, including a virtual library well-stocked for secondary school pupils and their instructors.
Next on the news at 10, Nigeria's Super Eagles move up one place to occupy 50th position, the latest ranking by football governing body FIFA. That's on sport. Please stay with us.